such a great honor to be before this incredible gathering of passionate minds. Just passionate. Okay. Sorry, is my screen still showing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, your screen's still
Sure.
showing.
Okay. So it's such an honor to be before this incredible gathering of passionate minds, united by our love for the ocean and commitment to science. So my name is Dr. Amarachi Onyena, and today we will navigate the ties of challenges, opportunities, and innovations in ocean sciences, especially as they relate to the invaluable contributions of women like you and I. So let's explore how we can champion sustainable marine futures together. So for today, we'll start by giving a brief introduction and an understanding of the current landscape of ocean sciences. We'll explore the major threats to the ocean world. We'll celebrate the trailblazing women in ocean sciences. And from there, we are going to be discussing the exciting potentials of the blue economy and conclude with a call to action. Lastly, will be an interactive and inspiring section where we're going to be discussing some rounds of important points. So please feel free to note your questions for our discussions later. Women bring unique perspectives to ocean sciences, often approaching challenges with innovative and collaborative solutions, from pioneering conservation efforts to leading cutting edge research. Women play a very crucial role. However, some studies consistently show that women are often are underrepresented across key areas, including ocean sciences, workforce, marine research roles, senior and academic positions, and even access to research grants. And more often, many women occupy lower skilled roles, highlighting the persistent gender disparities in the field. But the UN Ocean Decade is a clarion call for full and equal participation of women and girls in ocean science. So, as we discuss today, remember that every woman here holds the power to shape the ocean's future. So, let's take a look at some remarkable women who have paved way in their study of the ocean. One is Dr. Sylvia, famously known as her deepness. She broke records of deep sea dives in the 1970s and broke global attention to the impacts of overfishing and marine pollution. Her Mission Blue initiative protected critical marine habitats worldwide, providing that every woman's vision can inspire a global action. Next is Rachel Carlson, with her poetic and groundbreaking work, brought the mysteries of the ocean into people's hearts through some of her books like The Sea Around Us. Her environmental advocacy resulted in the Silent Spring, which transformed policies on pollution, including the ban of DDT, and led the foundation of the Clean Water Act. Eugenia Clark, often called the Shark Lady, she transformed how we understand and protect sharks, challenging harmful stereotypes about these misunderstood predators. Her research emphasized their ecological importance and advanced marine biodiversity studies. Studies like women and that of Messiers Ruth Turner and Kathleen Carpenter, they didn't just study the ocean, they shaped the future of the ocean. And their legacy keeps reminding us that women not only belong in ocean science, but are vital to its progress. Their legacy also reminds us that our contribution today will inspire the next generation. Who knows? Maybe one person here today might be the next her deepness. The ocean is not just vast, it is vital, covering 71% of the earth. It regulates our climate, supports biodiversity, and increases economies. Yet, these oceans are under siege. The UN Ocean Decade is a timely initiative aimed at achieving the science we need for the ocean we want. And the key part of the goals of the UN Ocean Decade includes ensuring sustainable fisheries, reducing pollution, mitigating climate change, advancing ocean science, building capacity, and fostering technology innovation. A report, according to World Life Fund 2019, shows that the annual gross marine product of about $2.5 trillion is comparable to a country's GDP, thus making the ocean the world's eighth largest economy. This is a clear indication that there is a collective opportunity to ensure sustainability for generations to come. We'll look at the threats of the ocean. Our oceans are actually drowning, not in water, but in a flood of challenges that threaten their existence and by extension, our own. Nearly 80% of marine pollution originates from land. Oil spills from oil and gas exploratory activities coat the surface of our seas, choking marine life and ecosystem. Gas flaring releases harmful pollutants that settle into the ocean, disrupting delicate chemical balances. Sewage pollution, which is more often seen in developing countries where they experience ocean dumping, open defecation. This sewage pollution introduces a toxic mixture of nutrients and bacteria, creating dead zones where no life can thrive. In addition to this pollution are the plastics pollution. Every year, 8 million tons of plastics enter the ocean. Just imagine it's like a garbage truck dumping its content into the sea every single minute. And this has many ecological human health risk. So this ocean that supports a life is fast becoming a graveyard of waste. And the thing is, plastics don't just float harmlessly. It entangles marine animals, poisons fish, and can fragment into microplastics that make their way into the food we eat. Apart from that, climate change is is one of the pollution that is affecting the ecosystems. The ocean is bearing the brunt of global warming as the sunlight keeps hitting the earth through natural processes or anthropogenic processes. There are also indications of increase in temperatures. And as these temperatures keep rising, they are rewriting the laws of the nature. Glaciers that stood millennia are melting before our own eyes, contributing to rising sea levels that threaten coastal communities. Tsunamis and volcanic activities aggravated by shifting geological stress reminds us that the ocean's untamed power. Changes in ocean currents disrupt weather patterns, leading to unpredictable rainfall and devastating floods. For example, floods in Maharashtra in India, and also even in Nigeria as of 2023, the was too much and sweeping so many lives and properties. There was increase in disease burden, according to World Health Organization, and there were a lot of their implications were profound. A lot of displaced homes, loss of arable land, and food insecurity, which in turn affects millions. Apart from this pollution, we have shipwreck, overfishing, and unsustainable fishing practices, dredging and sand mining, and fire outbreak. All of these have ways of impacting the oceanic life. As the ocean continues to absorb more carbon dioxide, its pH creates a hostile environment for marine life. Organisms from corals to shellfish struggle due to the increase in temperature. The species keep migrating away from their native ecosystems in search of habitable conditions, leaving behind barren habitats, disrupting biodiversity chains that support life. Adding to this is the destruction of the mangroves, one of the Earth's most important ecosystem. These mangroves store 4 times more carbon than other forests, yet they are being cut down for either for urban development, aquaculture and agriculture. And even in most cases, these mangroves are being affected by oil pollution and even plastic waste. A report shows that climate change stressors were dominant of the drivers of change, followed by land-based sources. And climate change induced sources declines the ocean and could cost the global economy over 400 billion annually by 2050. But the truth is that it's not just about the ocean or the biodiversity within it. It is about us. Our survival is linked to the health of the ocean. When the ocean struggles, so do we. That's why the fight isn't optional. It is essential. And together we can confront these challenges heads on and champion solutions that protect this blue lifeline. But the good news is here, the blue economy. The blue economy shines as a beacon of hope and a sustainable pathway that balances both economic growth, environmental health, and social equity. And it has so many components, from fisheries and aquaculture to mineral resources, deep sea mining, from renewable energy, shipping and marine transport. The blue economy ensures that the use of smart shipping to lessen the impact of the environment and also tackles marine litter and ocean pollution, and also create jobs and reduces poverty and ends hunger. According to the global market analysis of ocean economy, the ocean's economy is what a contribution of seafood processing, marine fisheries from ship ports, high technology, worth over 2,000 billion US dollars as at 2018. This isn't just about numbers. It's about how much this ocean is giving us. What are the resources this ocean can produce? And the opportunities keep growing. For instance, the global fish processing already worth over 390.37 billion as at 2024, and is estimated to even go double of it by 2034. It is about the jobs and the livelihood and the innovation for a better future. One standpoint of the blue economy is the ecotourism, which is the responsible travel to natural places that promotes conservation and supports local communities. And ecotourism has so many significance. Economically, ecotourism creates jobs, supports local businesses, generates revenue for conservation if efforts. Just think about the tour guides, the artisans, and the local operators whose livelihoods depend on the sector. Socially, ecotourism connects people to nature, then fostering a deeper appreciation of the marine ecosystem and inspiring a global culture of stewardship. Environmentally, ecotourism funds conservation projects such as marine protected areas, ensuring that the treasures of the ocean are preserved for future generation. Just imagine diving into a crystal clear waters to witness the thriving coral reefs, or walking through a lush mangrove forest. Ecotourism can offer these experiences while giving back to the very ecosystem it celebrates. But ecotourism is just one of it. The marine transport industry, essential for global trade, is undergoing a green revolution. Cleaner fuels, efficient shipping designs, reduce emissions. They are all transforming it into a more sustainable sector. The renewable energy is one of the most exciting frontiers of the blue economy. The oceans are vast reservoirs of untapped energy potential, from offshore wind farms to wave energy converters and tidal turbines. This technology promises to power our world while reducing carbon footprints. Just imagine a world where the same tides that guide our ships also powers our homes. And here is where you come in as a woman. Women are uniquely positioned to lead this transformation. We bring innovative perspectives, a commitment to sustainability, and a drive for collaboration, whether through pioneering research, policy advocacy, or community engagement. We can shape a blue economy that works for people and the planet. So let's embrace the blue economy opportunity, not just as scientists or professionals, but as change makers. The ocean has the power to sustain us. And with the blue economy, we can ensure that this power is harnessed responsibly. Let's talk about the barriers women face in marine sciences, because this is the elephant in the room. For many of us here, we are already doing so much work as regards research in marine science. But for all the incredible progresses we have made, gender disparities remain a stark reality, holding back not just individual careers, but the potential of the entire field. The challenges are significant, but so is our capacity to overcome them. Some of these challenges include funding inequities and underrepresentation. Research funding often skews towards established male-dominated networks, leaving many brilliant women scientists fighting for scraps. Underrepresentation in leadership roles only perpetuates this cycle, making it harder for women to champion their own research priorities. The second point is career progression barriers. Even when women enter the field of ocean sciences, the glass ceiling often looms large. That is, there is a limited access to mentorship, fewer opportunities for promotions, biases in hiring and evaluation. All these processes can stall career growth despite equal or superior or qualifications or even achievements you may have had. Another point is cultural biases. In many societies, women are still seen as outliers in STEM fields. These biases, whether overt or subtle, create an environment where women constantly have to prove their worth. So many women have to do extra work. They have to do so much more before they can show that before they can show what they can be able to do. So they have to go through so much in order to prove that yes, they can actually do this. Another important point is cultural expectation, that is work-life balance. For many women, it is more like work-life juggling, like societal expectations around caregiving and household responsibilities. These often pull women away from career advancement opportunities, like extended field work or international collaborations. For example, I mean, if a woman is babysitting or maybe have to care give a family member, you know, cultural expectation already have it that the woman may have to sit back and make sure that to babysit the baby or even give the care for that family members. So you see that for most times, many women may not want to go on an extended field trip that might take them away for 1 month, 2 months, and thereabouts, or even want to, get themselves involved in some international collaborations that will take them far away from their children, their family. So that is one of the barriers that women face. So that cultural expectation is one clause that many women in ocean sciences face. Another important point is fieldwork constraints. Ocean sciences generally demands grueling fieldwork in remote or challenging environments. I can remember when I was doing my PhD for 18 months, I kept on going into the estuarine environment. I make use of the Van Veen grab, and Van Veen grab, and the estuarine environment is up to about 6 meters deep. Throwing down the grab, lifting it with its content, coming again to sieve to in order to get your benthic organisms. All of these can be straining, maybe either to your health or to your waistline and all of that. So women often demands all of that, and so many people might want not to go in for such kind of research, right? Because they feel that it's going to have a toll on them. This example plus many other tasking field-based work, that will need you to either climb the mountains or even go in diving and all of that. They seem a lot of challenges for women, and sometimes women want to shy away from going into giving their best. Women also may face logistical and safety concerns, from inadequate facilities to even harassment, making field research an uphill battle. Another point is gender disparities in STEM. Despite making up nearly half of the global population, women represent only 28% of the STEM workforce. This disparity limits diverse perspectives and hampers innovation in solving complex global problems. Last and not the least is networking and visibility challenges. Let's not forget the old saying, it is not just what you know, it is who you know. So, networking events and leadership circles can be intimidating, or rather outright inaccessible to most women, especially in male dominated spaces. Visibility is essential for recognition, but women's contribution sometimes gets they are often overshadowed. But here is the thing: women are strong. Women have always been resilient. Now, in such occasions, think about the countless women who broke barriers before us, the likes of Dr. Sylvia, Eugenia, Mary Sears. What about our recent women who are doing marvelous, who are doing tremendous work in ocean sciences? Most of these women, they faced similar challenges, but one thing is they turn those obstacles into stepping stones, paving the way for others to go forward. Our strength lies in our collective voice and unwavering determination. And by amplifying our voices and supporting one another, we can turn these barriers into stepping stones. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to create change, not just for ourselves, but for the generation of women scientists who will follow our footsteps. Together, we are not just surviving these challenges, but we are transforming them into great triumphs. So now, how do you think you can turn these barriers into opportunities? One is through initiatives like scholarships and fellowships, mentorship programs, and global networks. All these are game changers. For example, the L'Oreal UNESCO Fellowship provides women scientists with resources to advance their research. So collaboration is another key. When you collaborate with diverse skilled teams, they don't only attract funders but also lead to groundbreaking discoveries. And fortunately, the future has it now that intelligence is transforming the ocean sciences. From doing data analysis and prediction, remote sensing and monitoring, it can also even use artificial intelligence in ecotoxicology and pollution, policy, and also conservation. Artificial intelligence can predict oceanic changes to mapping solution impacts. For example, AI-powered drones can monitor coral reefs and their health also in real time. Satellite imagery, for example, also combined with machine learning can predict changes in sea temperatures months in advance. I mean, you do not need to actually go into the field, or even if you have to go into the field to keep those technologies, you may not need to stay out there for a protracted time. So also there are other technologies, emerging technologies and AI that are also coming up. These tools allow us to tackle complex problems more efficiently at larger scale as women in ocean sciences. So we should embrace this technology not only to enhance our research, but also to position us as leaders in innovation. Advocacy for women is a powerful tool, and that is where we make a real difference. By participating in policy making, we ensure that women in ocean sciences are heard and addressed. By this also, we can ensure that conservation efforts are impactful and sustainable. And this could mean joining advisory boards, presenting research to policymakers, or simply engaging in public dialogues. Remember that policy isn't just about rules, it's about creating environments where research can thrive and lead a tangible change. Now, let's look at some research opportunities and how we can, navigate that, how we can explore these opportunities. Research opportunities are abundant, but they require us to think both locally and globally. And how can you get these research opportunities? It is by first, start by identifying gaps in your own country, your country's ocean policies or research framework. For instance, you could ask yourself, is there enough being done to monitor marine pollution? Or is there enough that is being done in the work of ocean sciences? So in all of this, you ask yourself, how does this research align to sustainable development goals? Because by the time you align this your research to sustainable development goals, it can open doors to international funding. And agencies like the UNEP, even the World Bank, IMO, often prioritize projects that address global concerns related to ocean sciences. And let me also say that if you are unsure where to start, always remember that curiosity is your greatest asset. Every unanswered question is a chance to make a discovery. So within your locality, any question that related to the ocean sciences or related to marine pollution that you feel that are not answered, you have no answers to, those those are part of the pathway to making a discovery. So those your questions that you keep asking about question, that could be a research gap. So those your curiosity should be your greatest asset. Ask yourself questions related to the ocean sciences and make a discovery from that. Then looking at when you're trying to make your research gap, for example, when you look at the local and the versus global concerns. For example, when you want to plan a research, for example, let's say locally you have coastal erosion. Coastal erosion might be a pressing issue, but globally we are grappling with ocean acidification. Here is the key. While the challenges may differ in scale, but just know that they are interconnected. So solving a local problem contributes to a global process. So for example, restoring mangroves in a single community helps sequester carbon, mitigating climate change on a global level. That is also to your own. You start from what is happening around your community, in your coastal communities, in your own communities, around your country, around your state. So I always tell researchers and young people and younger environmental students, I said, think globally, but act locally. It's just a principle that applies beautifully to ocean sciences. So you need to always think how this my research can help globally, but then how can you start up that within your locality is very important. Now, for research opportunities, collaboration and teamwork is is very important, and it is the heart of any impactful research. For any successful research you want to do, that collaboration is very important. For example, a project on marine biodiversity can bring together a team of ecologists, chemists, data scientists, ocean storytellers, science communicators, even from disciplines of acts. So when all this team come together, they don't just they create a holistic approach that produce actionable insights. So there's a need to cross-discipline your research and see how, because ocean is interdisciplinary, and it will be also be good if you find how you can integrate every area in order to produce a very good research. So because diverse team don't just bring varied expertise, they bring fresh perspectives. So depending on from the area you're coming from, you will bring your own perspective concerning what you think about these social sciences. They not just only bring those varied expertise, they'll bring fresh perspectives, bring innovative solutions. And one thing is that uh you must always don't forget to not to celebrate small victories as a team, because those things are what will add it will add up to your big wins. Now, in securing funding can feel like navigating uncharted waters. But the first step you have to do is to and identify the funders, and also address the knowledge gap which you want to do. So when you want to identify your funders whose priorities align with your research, you ask yourself, are they interested in climate resilience? Are they interested in biodiversity? Are they interested in water quality? Are they interested in sustainable fisheries? Are they interested in plastics? Are they interested in whatever area you're interested in? Now, remember that the funders they are looking for clarity. So your proposals should outline clear objectives, timelines. I mean, nobody wants to fund a project that will be forever. So you have to have a proposed timeline and expected outcomes. So, and do not shy away from highlighting the societal impact of your work. And also know that funders want to know that their investments will make a difference. I mean, if I'm a funding agency and I want to fund a project, I must make sure that there will be value for the money I want to invest. So ensure that the project or the research gap that you have identified or you want to carry out has a long way to add to make a difference, either for the company or the agency that is funding it, or it's going to make a difference for humanity, or for the generally for the environment, right? So, and most times you can get some of this knowledge gap by maybe joining the Google Scholar. For instance, for me, um, I have my keywords, areas I'm very much interested in. So those are my keywords. And sometimes when some of some of the people too I also subscribe to, when they publish, I read their work. Then what happens is that I try to see how I can replicate the same work they have done back to my own country, especially if they have the same scenario, or if they have similar either ocean science problem. So I tend to get that a first forehand of it and be able to replicate it in your own. So in that way, you see people who have already done a very, very good job, and then see if it's a problem in your own home country. And in that way, you're already knowing your knowledge gap, and you're already creating a very good research opportunities for yourself. And some of the research grants include from funding agencies include for global. I mean, there are so many locally, I couldn't put that of local from different places. So you find out what local organizations, agencies that are willing to take up research funding for um, ocean sciences and ocean related researches. But globally, we have the UK DFID, the UNDP, the World Bank, the EU Molecular. There are so many of them. You first of all find those organizations and then fine tune your research in order to meet up with what they have. In conclusion, women are the heartbeat of marine science. Our contributions are vital, not only for advancing research, but also for shaping sustainable policies and practices. Together, let's harness the power of the blue economy, overcome challenges, and also inspire the new generation of women in ocean sciences. Remember that the ocean needs us just as much as we need it. So in our next slide, we're going to look at how we can translate this research on ocean sciences into actionable policies for sustainable development and economic growth. So within the next 10 minutes, I would like everyone to attempt these tasks below, because if you are able to do this, then you can be able to write your proposal. You can be able to actually know what your research gaps are. We have talked about so many threats to the ocean. Then we have looked at the blue economy. So I would like, we'll use the next 10 minutes um, to see if you can be able to think and identify any research challenges or gap around your country. Let's look at it from locally, from your country or from your state. Can you write like a thematic area? Maybe let's use from the SDGs, for the 17 SDG. Is it solving the climate change? Is it aligning with the climate change? Is it under the life below water? Is it under sanitation or zero hunger? So you should let us know what this research challenge or gap you have identified within your locality. Then what is the scope or objective? So what is it that you really want to do? What is it? What comes to your mind whenever you think about this? Then what method are you going to use to check this? Is it a qualitative research or a quantitative research? What are the possible challenges that you are going to face? Yeah, either maybe as a woman or generally other challenges that you think. And then, do you have any relevant funding agencies in your mind? And then the benefits. So you can just tell us that, okay, this research that you have identified, these are the benefits. I mean, if you can be able to find this, you are already championing yourself into an ocean leader. So we'll give ourselves like, okay, in the next, by 12 o'clock, we'll gather. And again, I also want to plead that uh, depending on the time we have left, we will have like 3 to 5 persons who will be willing to let us share what they have before I give my concluding uh, slides for that. So we have 10 minutes. So 10 minutes is about 12 o'clock. Yes, please. Please let everybody identify, no matter anyone, even if you can't find everything, but just within, just think, what is it in your area that needs so much research on? Thank you. Okay, we are almost exhausting our time. So if we cannot be able to speak, please do well to put it on the chat box. But I mean, if you are okay to talk, that will be also be good because it's part of the workshop to have an interactive section. But it's okay if we cannot say anything. So we're almost there. Just 1 minute left, and I would like to see some amazing answers. Is there anyone that wants to go for us? Anybody? Yeah, before I just give my last slides, just conclude in 5 minutes.
Hi, I can go. Can you hear
Sure,
me?
that's great. Go ahead.
Hi, yeah, this is Nadia. I'm based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Okay,
Um, I'm involved in mainly deep sea capacity development, but for the purpose of this kind of exercise, I kind of wanted to just do something a bit more local.
okay,
So for research challenge or gap, I've identified kind of bridging traditional knowledge
okay,
in order to improve ocean literacy. My
okay,
background is mainly in social sciences and communication, so this feels a bit more, yeah, a bit more, I think, aligned with what I would be doing in the field anyway. So yeah,
okay,
it's basically to identify some of the underutilized or undocumented traditional ecological knowledge about our oceans and our coastal ecosystems, and also trying to bridge the gap between local traditional knowledge with global priorities, because that's something that we haven't done much in Malaysia. And then the thematic area with regards to the UN SDGs, I think is obviously SDG 14, life below water, but also I think falls somewhere in 13 as well for climate action, and partnerships for the goals, which is SDG 17. And for scope and objective, I would like to focus or emphasize more on youth, so those within 15 to 24, and also intergenerational kind of people who do know more about this traditional knowledge, so adults as well, who know a lot about the marine environment. And the main objective is mainly to document and preserve this traditional knowledge, and also to translate and disseminate this in languages that would be relevant to local communities, but also to align more of the global resources that we have into something that's more locally relevant, and maybe to try and get collaboration between scientists and policymakers to work together with local communities. And the method would be more to uh, field work, and also doing workshops with communities, interviews, and focus groups, so a bit more on the qualitative side. And possible challenges, obviously language and maybe some cultural challenges would exist. Also just to gain trust as well. Even though I'm a local, going into different communities is a long term relationship building. So that's something that needs to be there. and also to find out how we can balance and also bridge local traditional knowledge with kind of the more modern scientific knowledge that we have now. And a relevant funding agency would be the local governments, maybe university and research institutions, perhaps international organizations like UNESCO and some private foundations as well. And benefits is mainly for the preservation of the marine cultural heritage and also for increased ocean literacy among local communities and make it more culturally relevant in terms of the marine environments that they interact with. Yep.
Wow. This is great. Thank you very much. Like, I mean, this is a very good research. Like, I mean, if you have this already, you can be able to put your pen together and get this as a proposal. It's a very good one because by the time you've already known what is the challenge, you already know what the problem is, you already know the particular thematic area it is. I mean, it's a very good one. Traditional knowledge is very important. And in fact, recently, a lot of studies have been going into citizen science, right? Science communication, because most times also it's not just having the laboratory based research. I mean, you get a laboratory, and then how do you now communicate back to the coastal communities who maybe have little knowledge about what you are talking about? I mean, it's a really a very good research, and thank you for your confidence that, because I know you are a very woman of resilience. So I don't know if we can have another one. We still have some time before we wrap up. Thank you very much, Nadia. So I don't know if we have any other person. Any other person? Can we get at least another person to compare with? If we can't get up to five, we can just get like one more person. Any other person wants to go? Yep. Okay. If you can, I mean, if you don't have the full, you can also give the much you can. If you don't have the full, but oh, okay. Since we don't have any other person, but I mean, you can take that table along with you and use that to fine tune your research proposals and come up with very good research opportunities, and then go out there and start your research in ocean sciences. So I'll just because of time and all that. So my final thought is that for every research opportunity, you first of all have to find some knowledge gaps. Then what are those challenges? Then you have to transform them into a research, and then let your findings get to be known. And then from there, you can be able to get policies for the action. And personally, some of the knowledge gaps I also did while trying to look at what's happening around my area. I just thought that these are my own gaps that I've checked. Like, what are the challenges facing coastal communities, and how do we build coastal resilience in face of climate change? Climate change is affecting almost everything. So, what are the lack of local community participation, like the ocean science and the citizen science, in development processes due to socio-economic factors and skill deficiency. So how can these coastal communities bridge the gap of environmental pollution and the resultant poverty? Then the shipwrecks, and then the climate impact and building resilience. Then to what extent are we aware and exploiting our vast ocean, and to what extent can policies be developed to address this? So we can look at the knowledge, the attitude, the practices towards the ocean science, and then look at the investment opportunities. Are there people who can actually look at the vast of ocean and actually invest in the opportunities that this ocean has. Something happened to my slide. Okay. So the role of modern, specific, and consistent policies. Oh, okay. Now, also, I just thought that, during the COVID, there were a lot of um, um, global pandemics, and during that period, there were a lot of macro leaders regards to um, face masks, throwing them, dumping them into the ocean. So I asked myself, how can we adapt our ocean and build resilience in the face of global pandemics, like influence of pandemics in the ocean, building resilience for future occurrence? I mean, you have to start now to look at ways how we can actually protect the ocean from future occurrence, then the health and safety of the environment. So lastly, my final thoughts is that the challenges we face are great, but so is our collective potential. So let's pledge to bridge knowledge gaps, advocate for sustainable policies, and most importantly, support one another in this journey. My general comments are very simple. The ocean has really given us in so much. The ocean is the oxygen we breathe, the food we eat, and the inspiration for our work. So now, as women, it's time for us to give back to the ocean, whether through research, advocacy, or education. Each of us has a role to play, and together we can ensure that the next generation inherits an ocean that is healthier, more sustainable, more resilient, and full of life. Thank you for your attention, for your passion, and your commitment to making waves in ocean sciences. So these are some of the references I used for the study for this. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Amarachi. If anyone has any questions, then obviously feel free to ask them now. You don't have to turn on your microphone if you don't want to. You can just drop them in the chat. I'll just wait to see if there's any other questions and then we'll close it off.
Yeah. If you have any question,
Mhm.
please do well to ask me any question or anything at all.
Yeah, if anyone thinks
Research publications and
if you think of any questions later on as well, you can always find Amarachi on LinkedIn, right? And you can send her a message through there.
so I'll just drop my email if you have any question or anything at all. You can just just
I know a couple of people joined late as well, so if you didn't hear at the start, we will be uploading the recording of this workshop to YouTube over the next couple of weeks. We do host these workshops monthly, so look out for our next one. We won't be holding one next month as it's obviously December, which is a busy month for everyone. And we tend to host them at the end of the month anyway, so that obviously wouldn't work. But we will be posting about next year's workshops. And obviously, if you'd like to host a workshop yourself, if there's anything that you specialize in, then just let us know. Contact us on Instagram or LinkedIn or by email. Or if you know of someone that you'd like to nominate or, let your friends know. That would be great because we're always looking out for more workshop hosts. So Thank you very much, Amarachi, for your amazing and very insightful workshop. I found it really interesting, and I'm sure everybody else watching did as well.
Thank you very much. It's
Uh,
it's an honor for me. Yeah.
we
All
were
right.
very glad to have you, so thank you. Goodbye, everyone.